Welcome back to Highfields Park here in Nottingham. We've got 3 more games left today, and what we've got next is the women's 35 clash between England and Scotland. I'm delighted to say, joining me on co-commentary once again is Mel Day.
Hello, how are you?
Better now I've had a game off. Rearing to go for the last 3 games now.
Rested the voice box, ready for the last games of the day.
Yeah. Now, as you said to me just before we came on, you have intimate knowledge of this category.
I do.
So
I'll leave the messy details off air.
But both teams have played earlier today at 1 o'clock. England beating Wales 9-1 and Scotland falling to Ireland 4-2.
Yeah, Scotland have a lot of experienced players in their team. And being an ex-ref, they've got a couple of ladies I've refereed. And number 5, Elsa Falconer. Number 8, Rachel Howe. But they do have some really solid players in their team. So, yeah, let's hope they take it to the England 35s. But England 35s, bronze medalists at the last World Cup, and I think this is probably one of the hardest teams to select in terms of quality of players across the park. So 35s, I think, they're definite favourites for this match.
Yeah. 35s in the last European Championships in 2018. It was an actually test series with Scotland, which they won 3-0, and England, with a great start there, straight from the tap off, and they're 1-0 ahead.
Yeah, great hole hitting there by Sue Ellen. Good there. We'll watch it back on the replay. You can see her just chopping that hole really well, straight in. Marnie Wills with the assist. Great start. 1 minute down, 1 try scored.
Yeah, Sue Ellen good. With the opening try for England. So, as you're saying, there's only 2 35s teams in the last European Championships. England played Scotland in a 3-test series, England winning that one 2-1. So on that basis, you would expect a close game here.
Yeah, I remember the last Euros, and they won the first one, and that was a really tight game in the second one. They went down in that second match and then came through for the deciding test match.
Yeah, 1-0 in the deciding game, so really tight.
A very, very tight game, and it's fantastic for the 35s to have their own. We can see a referee go down in the background. There'll definitely be fines for him in terms of that within the referee court session later on. But yeah, it's great for them to have their standalone division. Last year, as they played with the 27s, but 4 teams playing around robin this time around. And Scotland having a couple of cracks at the line here. I think just the second touch.
Yeah, just at the 7 metre. Just stepping back a bit. Good defence so far by England.
Yeah, Sarah Abbott, the 14, is quite a strong playmaker for the 35s. There she goes, picking up from half. And ball down. Yeah, Sarah Abbott, great speed on her, and England will be driving up off their line.
So England coming forward. It's a good drive so far, but it's a good touch.
Incredible speed by Nola Quinn. Used to be a Scottish player, used to play for Scotland Senior Mixed. Nogs, as she's known as, but yeah, exceptional speed.
Oh, that's it. Lewis Lamb, who, after the Elite Series, Development Series, you don't expect to see that sort of handling error from her.
No, Lois is an exceptional player in his 35s. Just like looking at the park now, you've got Kylie Hutchison, the most capped player for England, there in the mids. Rebecca Maxwell, really strong player, just quality across the park. And it's almost disappointing that they're not playing in the 27s division, because it would have been really interesting to see this team play against some of the 27s, because they are that strong that I think they would have done quite well.
They got a few fresh legs on now as England, who hold the 1-0 advantage, drive towards the line once again. Half needs to find a mark, and I think that's down.
Excellent work. Leah Cuthbertson scoring there off a fantastic scoop.
Yeah, just
Vicky Tomlinson, a winger, coming in there, scooping straight through the middles. You can see the middles just kind of backs facing towards each other, hole opening up in the middle. Great score by Leah.
Yeah, Leah Forbes Cuthbertson getting the ball down. It was made by Vicky Tomlinson. Great speed going into the zone.
And Leah also originally, she's from Scotland as well. Her family still live up there. She's been living in England for quite a while now. She hurdled Hadrian's Wall a fair few years ago. And an incredibly strong player, previous mixed open representative, women's open representative for England, coaches a lot of the junior teams as well. So it's fantastic to have her in this 35s team.
And England coming forward again, and this is starting to look ominous for Scotland already. But fortunately for them, the pass is off mark, and they will have the ball back. But it's been a very strong start by England.
Yeah, I think they're going to be really happy. Like, they've had one handling error, but since then they've held it for 6 and had a couple of really strong strike dumps. And I think with this 35s team, they were able to set up those strike dumps and have those from, say, 15 metres out, and for them to be incredibly effective with really fast scoopers and things like that. But Scotland, unfortunately, just putting the ball down there, and England will be driving up. Good touch there by the number 10, Ruth Kerr from Scotland, getting up off the line.
England coming again. They'll use the sub box, I think. Yes, they do. A couple of fresh players coming on.
I think this will be 5th touch coming. Great midfield D from Scotland here, and that was 5th touch, and they've really made that 5th touch not a strike dump. So England have got to create something from a very static situation, and Scotland comfortably defending that. Really, really strong midfield.
Good defence. Good defence by Scotland. And they will look to get to the sub box themselves. Looks a bit light over on that far side. There's 1, 2, 3, I think 6. Only 6 or 7 in the box.
Yeah, start of the tournament, they don't look to have a full complement in their box at the moment, which, yeah, in terms of fresh legs, it can make it a little bit hard. But having fewer players, sometimes it gets the players really into the game and maintained into the game. Sometimes having fewer players can actually help, as we see Kylie Hutchison go for a drag. And 5th touch.
No, they are back on the 7 metres, so again a static start on 5th touch. And again the Scotland defence comes through with flying colours.
Yeah, they've done really well after those first 2 tries. It's almost possible after 2 tries in quick succession for the scores to just keep on coming. But I think the Scotland defence, both on the line and the middle of the field, has been really strong since then. They've just got to focus on holding it for these 6 touches and getting down to that England try line to hopefully set up a scoring opportunity, as we see Ruth Kerr driving the ball and 6 touches there.
And England back with possession. 2 touches and they're still shy of halfway. They'll go over halfway now. Well taken. Vicky Tomlinson just trying to dodge the touches. She dodged one, couldn't dodge the second. England still have it though.
Yeah, she's got great pace, Vicky Tomlinson, and here we go, Sammy Phillips scooping straight through. She can't score because she's half, but she finds the runner in number 13, Nogs Quinn.
A really, really good play by England, because she had to hold on to that ball for a long time. And 2 players were well covered, 3 players well covered, and then finally someone was free. And it was Nogs Quinn put the ball down, and England 3-0 ahead.
And Nogs Quinn, she would have run from halfway across the field for that. Just the urgency to try and be an option for that's incredible. She's having a good start, Nogs, to this game.
So they are starting from halfway once again, Scotland. And they've had a few really good defensive plays to keep England out, but just couldn't manage it that time. Need to provide some offence themselves, and no, they won't do it like that, unfortunately.
No, just to be a little bit, needs to be a little bit more sympathetic with their passes and get those scores in. We see Jen Palmer go right through the middle.
And again, is a strong drive from England. Touch is made.
Yeah, I think that play was coming from a very offside position through the middle of the ruck.
A fresh set of 6.
Quite deserved.
Yeah.
Can't blame her for
It was quite. I
chancing
think Louise Rickard looked round as if said, "What has just happened?"
Marnie passing out.
Touch is claimed. I think it's going to be given. Susan Ferguson Ward did make the touch, and we go back to 7. Still there for England though.
Oh, nice
great
pass.
pass. Great pass, and Jen Palmer takes it in the stride, pops it down, and it's 4-0 to England.
What a great ball. Marnie Wills, number 1. Once again, Women's Open, Women's 27 representative. It's been on the scene a long, long time, and you just see it pass straight into that hole. And often you'll see players like Marnie, and they will just pass at the hole rather than the player, pass at the hole and just trust that their player has spotted that hole, running the right line. And Jen Palmer doing exactly what Marnie needed to do. Great score.
So 4-0, England lead now. And
I was telling you, John, I got dropped from this women's 35
yes.
squad from England, and I can start to see why. My plan on the commentary was to boast about all the things that I could have done that these players aren't doing, but they haven't given me any ammunition yet, unfortunately. They're tearing it up.
Don't worry, Mal, it's a long week. So.
I'll have to wait for men's 40s to show why I could have made it to that squad instead. And here we have Bex Maxwell passing out a little, very static drive from England, have lost a lot of momentum on that drive. You can just see with the subbing on, it's not a strong subset from the England team, but going forward now, Sammy Phillips, high performance director for England, touch with the ball. Great strike up by Sammy, creating some momentum. And here we see Kate Hyde trying to go through the middle, but good touch there by the Scotland mid.
The rain is falling once again here. It's been a strange day weather-wise. It really has.
It's been very interesting.
Yeah.
I've been wet all day, either through sweat or through getting rained on. So, or through.
Yeah, it's not pleasant out there when the rain is falling, especially with it being so close as well and humid.
Fantastic to see the fields holding up really well, despite the rain showers. Some great facilities here at Nottingham.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, this is probably the first. We had some showers in the past couple of days, and probably a couple of days before that, but they are the first sort of lot of rain that we've had in Nottingham for a long time. And as you can see from the car park to our right, how brown the grass is.
Oh, true.
There, it's. But obviously, these fabulous facility here, the pitches are incredibly well looked after and are lush and green.
Oh,
So
you know what?
Credit to the grounds people here who've created some fantastic playing surfaces for this competition.
Absolutely. Sarah Abbott, going from half, she's created some really good attacking opportunities. Sarah Abbott, the number 14. Yeah, as an attacker, I think she's been one of their strongest players. And England are going to be disappointing. These last 3 subsets, they've just a few dropped balls, just a lack of momentum on those turnovers. So Scotland throwing a few subs on, and they're going to really want to capitalise on these errors.
It's good pressure from Scotland. Probably the best spell of the match so far.
And we can see Ruth Kerr driving the ball in. Sweeper play with that player coming around the back of the ruck. And they've just got a penalty for an offside. So 6 again, maintaining pressure on this England line D. Susan Ferguson wore the number 6 with the twin ponytail. She's got some speed on her. Look at her go. She's a great sweeper runner for that reason.
And as she put that down, now she's back to the 7-metre line. Still Scotland's ball though, and they'll be pleased to have so much time in an attacking situation.
They've gone back the other way.
And they've broke down by the pass, and England have the ball again. And they'll be glad of that. There was a long period of possession by Scotland.
And once again, really good, strong midfield D. They've got them 4th touch and they've just reached halfway. England, that was their 5th touch. Money Wills skipping from half. She's still half here, so she does have to pass that ball, and she does out to the winger. And a fairly comfortable score.
Yeah, and it's a 5th for England. Who answer that spell of Scotland pressure by increasing the lead even further. Kylie Hutchinson popping the ball down there. Five minutes till half time, and I'm guessing even now Scotland probably can't wait for it to come so they can regroup and probably run through a few plays.
Yeah, and the fantastic thing that we've seen on Field 1 today is often when teams are having a tough first half, I think without exception, after that half-time talk, we've seen every single one of those teams come out after half-time and really take another step up. So it's definitely what Scotland will be looking for as well.
Yeah, because they've been... Oh, and that's a good dive through. I think that is a score, is it?
Yep, no touch.
Yep, and the score is given, and Scotland are on the board. Skylar Clark puts the ball down, and it is 5-1, and that is just what they needed. And after the sort of spell of pressure they've had probably over the last 5 to 6 minutes, it's no more than they deserve either.
Yeah, Skylar Clark, exceptional dive there, straight in the middle of those England players, and that's going to benefit them going forward as well, because England are going to spot her as someone who can dive. Their defence is going to really tighten up around her, and then it's potentially going to give Scotland some options on the outside. So Skylar Clark doing her team a truck full of favours with that, and we've got Lois Lau with the response straight away.
Yes, it just goes to show the strength and depth of Englanders straight from the tap off. Lois Lau takes the ball, 3 in front of her, no matter, beats the despairing dive and puts the ball down. And it's 6-1.
Incredible player, Lois. She's been everywhere this week. She's been at the Commonwealth Games, she's been at the World Cup football final. She said it was about time for her to throw on an England jersey, and she's definitely representing it strongly today.
Yeah, obviously at Wembley for that fantastic victory for England against Germany, and it finally came home.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to some of the touch girls getting their jerseys off and helicoptering down the field. I think we need to get a few more traditional try celebrations happening. If anyone wants me to do it from the commentary box, just drop a comment in the live feed.
Unfortunately, the camera's pointing the other way.
I'll have to run downstairs, so just give me 5 minutes. But
because we've always got the ski camera. As England
Liv
go
Jones.
further ahead, 7-1.
Liv Jones on that far wing, she has got some pace, and you know what, she has an exceptional dive. as well. Unfortunately, not being pressured enough to show it off on the live stream, but yeah, exceptional player Liv Jones played me out of a wing position. So I'm a bit salty about it still, but well done to her.
And it suddenly got very cold around.
I tell you what, and you can see the wind on the live stream. You'll be able to see those flags. And
yeah, it really has started to blow. Earlier today, it was blowing into our faces here on the commentary box, and now it's sort of going straight across the pitch. And it has certainly picked up during the day. It's a lot stronger now than it was.
And you'll see the players adjust for that. Like, even when you're looking across this Scotland line, they are quite flat, you know, especially those wingers. And you always look at this wind, and that's really going to impact those long balls when they come in terms of the direction that they do take. And passing out to Rachel Howe on the far wing there for the turnover. And England are going to have to make it across the fields with quite a few passes, and Scotland will be trying to force a mistake here. Leah Cuthbertson, great, strong dump in there.
Oh, well taken by Lois Lau. That was a difficult pass. This will be the final play of the half, though, and that will do it. But what a half it has been for England. 7-1 they lead after 20 minutes of play, and Scotland desperately need that regroup. And they have shown flashes in offence, but England just really quite dominant in that 20 minutes. There he is, the opening try.
Yeah, that great chop hole by Sue Ellen. God, that was an absolute cracker. And Marnie Wills has been, yeah, the person to throw some of these exceptional passes. Here we can see Vicky Tomlinson scooping right through the middle to Leah Cuthbertson. And you can see a lot of these tries getting scored from not on the 7 metres, but kind of, 10, 15 metres out. It's one of the 35 strengths in that, and quite a few coming from scoops as well, actually.
And you saw such a patient build-up all the time. No panic.
Yeah. And Marnie Wills special, absolute pill to Jen Palmer.
It's like you say, often not passing to the player, just passing into the hole and hoping someone's there. That one was very much a pass to the player onto the wing. Scotland,
you can see this excellent dive, number 3. What a score! Just an absolute cracker from Sila Clark.
Although it was England who came straight back from the tap off. Lois Lau with a great dummy pass and just carried it over the line and popped it down. Still more for England. Olivia Jones,
yeah, just
going to the corner.
Becoming a bit broken with their D, Scotland. Sometimes they are sending one player up, but their other players aren't backing up and getting on side to be that cover defence to these really, really fast attackers. So if I was in the Scotland box, I'd say focus on that midfield D. When they're really strong on that midfield D, they pissed and they've got those onside defenders. They are putting pressure on England, and I think sometimes they're pressuring a lot of turnovers, quite cheap turnovers from the England team. And if I was in the England box, I'd be Ed Budge saying, geez, I'm glad I didn't pick Mel Day for this team, because the rest of them are doing an absolutely sterling job. It's fantastic to see this 35s team, just class all around.
And you can see very, very much together down below us, arms around each other.
Just like we're standing here in the commentary box, Jono.
Having our half-time team talk before we carry on with the commentary.
We're a tight crew, the commentary team, aren't we?
We certainly are.
I've been trying to get the boys to put their arms around me in the commentary box, but haven't had a taker yet.
Notice it's a very different scene in the sub boxes. It's like, as you say, England seem very close together, very different over on the other side with Scotland.
Yeah, sometimes that can be like they do have, as we spoke about, a fairly skinny sub box. So sometimes it can just be that fatigue, needing a bit of space, needing a bit of air and things like that. But knowing that 35's team from Scotland, that they've got, you know, a lot of stalwarts in that team, although they might not be close physically, they're a really tight bunch, and I've got no doubt they're going to come out and really try and smash the second half.
And it's like you say, we have seen it pretty much every game where there has been, so shall we say, a lopsided scoreline going into half time, that the team behind has really come back into it in the second half, and that's going to be the goal for Scotland now, is if they can come back into it, score a few tries, and make a game of it. I suppose it's like breaking the game down into chunks and saying, right, this is a 20-minute game now, we're starting at 0-0.
Yeah, and 20 minutes is a long time in touch, and sometimes it can take that little bit of time to get in the flow, to depending on the preparation of different teams, it can just be that time to get used to who you're playing with in these match situations. And for these ladies, I think it's only their second game of this tournament, and it's going to be a long 5 days, and Scotland will want to warm into it definitely in the second half.
Well, we are off again in the second half, and it's Scotland who had the tap off, so a good opportunity for them to put something on the board early in this second half. Yeah,
we've got this Susan Ferguson-Ward standing very deep in attack, getting ready to run from depth in attack. She does have some great speed on her. She's with the ball now. I think they need to set her up on, you know, a few more sweeps, a few more short runs to really target that offside defender. But unfortunately, 6 touches, so they'll just have to wait for another attacking opportunity.
And they're coming in again. England have it up to halfway.
England going direct here, driving down the opposite sub box, getting a few fresh legs on. We can see Lois Lau, one of their performers from the first half, about to scoop on the 7-metre line.
And it looks like they've got a fresh set of 6. And England make a couple of changes as well.
Yeah, they normally like to keep their consistent pods, and I think we saw a couple of players come off in that driving set, but a couple of players have to stay on to drive the ball. So they've just gotten those 4 pod players in who are used to playing together, so they are comfortable with each other. We've got Kylie Hutchison passing from half to Lois Lau. Great hole. Number 7, Claire Davis.
And it's an early score in the second half for England, just like it was in the first, 8-1.
And just look at this angle that Claire runs. You can see them bringing it over to the right-hand side, bringing it back left, and Claire just is on the outside line, but then just chops in. Just exceptional line running by Claire Davis there. Geez, that looked good from up here. It's really subtle movements, kind of that outline to that chop hole, but it's so effective when you see it on a slow-mo like that.
Yeah, fantastic try from England. Scotland, a strong drive so far from the tap off.
Number 15, Fiona McKinnon, going for the dive there, and she's got the penalty for a team, so good play there by Fiona.
It's a good opportunity for Scotland, a fresh set of 6, and they're at the 7-metre line. Just trying to figure out this England defence that has been exceptional in this game so far.
And this is good by Scotland, just some solid attacking plays, testing that England defence. Really good opening touches by Scotland. We can see a scoop. I think she might have, I thought she was half there, but I might be mistaken. Oh, no. Oh. She was half there.
So
sometimes you can scoop by half, and with the excitement, just go for it. I do it all the time.
And Lois Lau, great speed as England make some changes.
Oh, this is up there with the Opens in terms of that speed and momentum on these drives. Great performance by the England 35s.
And she was the half of touches claimed, and I think that is going to be given. It is.
Yep, great touch there by Liesl Lepstrew-Holmes. Rachel Howe, the winger with the blue hair, over on that side of the field, and once again they've gotten a penalty for an offside, getting piggybacked up the field here. Good driving there by Sarah Abbott again, the number 14. This is fourth touch coming, so if they can create attacking move and then perhaps do a second phase, we've got the number 3 sweeping around, Sila Clark again, who scored in the first half.
Do they have a fresh set of 6 here? I think
they do.
They may do, yes.
Another offside penalty, and England have got to be really careful here. That's 2 penalties on the line. Another penalty, and it'll be 6 on 5. So Scotland really want to hold it for the 6 touches and try and milk this other penalty and get that player excluded off.
Sila Clark dives through, and I think, did she get it down? No, the touch came in.
She's been a standout for the Scottish side, hasn't she?
She certainly has. You want better against us scoring again here. Touch is made, and Scotland looking to draw that penalty to get England down to 5. It hasn't happened yet, but it's last touch.
Oh, Sarah Abbott. So close there. The dive was almost in there by Sarah Abbott. I thought she was into a good hole there between the wing and the link, and England having to work off their try line.
You have to pay credit to the England defence there, though, because with hanging over them another penalty and they go down a player, but still to hold the defence and keep Scotland out. It is really, really strong defensive play.
Yeah, and so tight. You can just see there weren't any holes in there. And I think that might be a score from England here by Kylie Hutchison.
It is indeed.
You could just see Scotland retreating, and you've got to be really careful where that line is. It looked like they retreated just behind that line and just opened up that scoring opportunity for Kylie Hutchison. Yeah, just getting the ball there, and you can see that defender just behind that line, and Kylie Hutchison, just the most experienced player in England women's history. Just an exceptional leader, great player, good mate. Serves far too much alcohol at her house at dinner parties. Should be illegal.
I don't know what it is, Mo, but I keep getting this theme.
I need to slate her a little bit for the hangover I had on New Year's Day. It was a very messy 1st of January this year, unfortunately.
Is she also a wine connoisseur like yourself?
And Leah Cuthbertson, so strong in the ruck, Leah.
And it's England again. They just seem to be driving forward so easily, and that's not to disparage Scotland at all. It's just the experience and skill within this England side that they are finding those gaps and finding each other so well.
Oh, excellent touch there by Rachel Howe, the winger for Scotland. Exceptional defensive drive. That was the difference between, a try and no try. Rachel's got to be so happy with that defensive effort. But you're right, the England drives, I think they are really winning their rucks. When you watch these England women drive, they're winning that ruck, which means they're making that touch. It's not destroying the momentum of that roll ball. They're just so strong, these girls. I think I need to take up CrossFit because I get dominated in the ruck quite often. And not in a good way, unfortunately.
Here they come again. Take the opportunity to change practically every player, and they do. They've got a full fresh set on.
Good touch there by the number 15, Fiona McKinnon.
Final touch.
Oh, I think
Lois Lau. Oh, that's fantastic. It really is.
yeah, Fiona McKinnon, hands on her knees there, and she's a bit unlucky here. You can see England start to work across, and it looked like Scotland were going man on, that they had them fully covered. And you can just see a late switch here by Sammy Phillips and ball down. Really, really tough to defend that.
And England into double figures, and we're still not even at the 30-minute mark yet. And it just emphasises the dominating performance that they put in this game. I think it's fair to say Scotland have tightened up a little bit. They've not given England like the freedom of the offensive zone, and they've had a couple of chances themselves. But just as we said before, just the quality of this England squad is really shining through here.
Yeah, when we just watched this defensive set here, they're just so tight with each other, and they follow the ball across as a unit and just limits the gaps. But you're right, I think the Scottish attack has been much better in this half, and they've had quite a few shots at the line, and it's just about that execution, but it's just so hard against a very good defensive team like England.
England still driving towards the line. Over the 7 metre now, there's a player over left, they have to go back again.
Bex Maxwell, late cut. Once again, superb defensive effort by the Scottish team, with Linda Leslie coming over and making a awesome diving touch there.
Yeah, she's done really, really well. Just gives Scotland possession. They are very deep in their own half, so again it moves over to the sub box so they can get some fresh players on.
And this will be the time. I think there are 6 players in that Scotland sub box. You know, compared to 8, just having that 2 extra players, especially when you come into the last 10 minutes of the game like we are now, it does make a difference with these 40-minute games.
Yeah, there's that extra depth, especially considering that with the 2 games that they have played, they didn't have their first game until 1 o'clock, so that there's not a great deal of rest in between games.
No, not at all. Only 2 games, but yeah, quite a tough proposition. And
that's through the middle again. It's 11 for England.
Yeah, it looks like Swellen just going straight through the middle, and I think this is when the fatigue starts creeping in, when you start retreating behind that score line instead of just like making that score line, bouncing straight back up off it. You just through fatigue, you start to retreat just slightly behind it, and unfortunately these sneaky tries that England have got a couple in this half, they're going to creep in.
So 11-1, England lead now. And Scotland, they'll want to get something else on the board, if only to take a bit of confidence and momentum into their next game tomorrow. But unfortunately, just passes not held, and that gives England the ball back. And again, you see it again how quickly they drive up the field.
Yeah, and it's nice when you see teams go direct and kind of use that other side of the field. And normally defences are quite used to flooding across and saving some legs, but England really stretching them. Lois scooping through, looking for a support play to score, and she's found it in Vicky Tomlinson.
Yeah, Lois Lau has had a fantastic game. And England have 12. And it has been a really dominating performance from England, and Scotland really haven't had an answer to the England offence, really.
No, and it is a game of inches. You could just see that swiping touch, attempted touch on Lovis there. It was probably just a couple of inches in it, and unfortunately that can be the difference between a score and holding someone out. And here we go, Scotland. Nice strike dump.
think that was forward anyway, but it pass wasn't completed. So Scotland start again.
Here they go, right through the middle, England. Nice defensive touch there. That just broke up some of the momentum of this England drive. So, but here they go again. I think that's fourth touch. So they'll have a strike dump here through Kylie Hutchison, who throws wide.
Just retreating back a little. Still with the ball though. Back to the 7 metre. Just not quite taken in by Claire Davis. A very rare handling error for England. In fact, I don't recall any error by England at all throughout this game.
Yeah, they've been very solid in their basic skills at controlling the controllables, which is something the coaches talk a lot about. Just been handed a clean shirt by my co-commentator Ben Meakin. I think he's trying to hint that I might be a bit smelly after today. Just after I've mentioned I've been sweating all day on the live comms. Thank you, Ben. And Leah Cuthbertson coming onto the field. Great touch by number 11, Linda Leslie. I think her defence, Linda Leslie, has been really good this game.
Here's Lau again. Pops it down.
Marnie
Wills. Needs to find somewhere open and finds Lois Lau, and great combination. And it's a baker's dozen for England. 13-1.
It's amazing when you watch these pods. Normally there are 4 central players in each pod when teams do use this pod system, and the players just get so knowledgeable and confident with each other. And the number of times we've seen players like Marnie Wills and Lois Lau combine, and it's off the back of hard work from other people in their pod, like Leah Cuthbertson driving so hard up the field and setting that really strong base. It's pretty special to see, actually.
It's been a fabulous performance by England, both offence and defence. Scotland looking to finish on a high.
It's just the pace of England. England is still looking fresh at this part of the game. We're starting to see Scotland, they just look a little bit fatigued in parts, but England, it's like they're playing like it's a second win of the match, aren't they?
Yeah. I think there seems to be a sort of stutter to Scotland's moves. It's not as flowing, it's not as free flow as England. It's just completely free flowing up the field. The passing is on point. The changes are on point. And there's my commentator's
Avada Kedavra.
So Scotland have the ball back as they look to get some fresh legs on. They do look tired, it has to be said. Bench not as deep for Scotland as it is for the England women's 35s. England have the ball back again.
And with Scotland, these games can be quite hard, but I'm sure they're going to walk away and take a huge amount of motivation from these games. I think you can walk away from these games and they can actually make you so much better for your future pool games. Number 11, I think that was almost a try-saving knockdown by the number 11, Linda Leslie. But sometimes you need a game like this just to kind of bring you back, motivate you for the next one, and just lift you to that next level. And I've got no doubt that, yeah, the Scotland 35 is going to come out tomorrow really, really, wanting a strong game.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't want to be playing them first thing tomorrow.
No, they've got something to prove, haven't they? Now, because this is the second loss out of 2 games. So you're right, they need to come out firing tomorrow. So we head towards the final minute of the game, and Scotland with a strong drive here.
Oh, this is much better from Scotland. Great step back by Siler Clark.
Virtually final touch, so England have possession again.
Siler Clark again working really hard in D here, making these defensive touches. Lee Cuthbertson once again setting this platform, and that support play, sometimes you might not be the one to score, but the support play you do in setting up these tries, it's just invaluable. And she's just had a direct assist in a score by Liv Jones over on that far wing. Great heads up play by England.
So 14 for England now, as they cut through, but a great pass.
And great change of direction by Liv.
Gillian Bond almost getting back actually to get the touch, but the ball was down.
Yeah, it looks very close on that replay, didn't it? This will be the last couple of plays.
There we go, so final play of the game, and there's the touch and there's the whistle, and I think Scotland will be quite pleased that that one's over.
Yeah, a tough outing for them. I think, yeah, their midfield D, if they just tighten up their midfield D, start winning some of these rugs, you know, making that touch in front. And they've got some incredible highlights. I thought they had some great play from a variety of players. I thought Siler Clark, so much, you know, potential to play off her a little bit more. And Linda Leslie and Sarah Abbott, I thought, should all be like individually happy with that game. Obviously they'll be disappointed from a team perspective, but yeah, tomorrow they'll definitely come out. And England, I tell you what, who do you give best on the field to from the England team?
Well, for me, Lois Lau I thought was the best player out there, but you could perm anyone from probably 6 or 7 out there. It was a fabulous performance.
Yeah, I'd probably give it to their pod. You know, Leah Cuthbertson, Marnie Wills, Lois Lau. I thought, yeah, each of them really set up some strong plays. So, yeah, 35s will be happy at dinner in the university halls tonight.
Yeah, 2 wins out of 2 for England. Scotland work to do, but plenty of time left this week for them to get some better results and get it right in their next game. So we move on. 2 more games left today, and we've got the Women's Open round robin game between Wales and Ireland. That is coming up next, live from the University of Nottingham. Do not go away.